And the border state Congressman Greg Stanton, who just won re-election but saw his margin shrink, says he respects the president but thinks he got this one wrong. Congressman Stanton, who represents parts of the Phoenix area, joins us live here on the Hill this evening. Congressman, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Glad to be here.
You got it. So tell me why, first off, a couple things. Tell me why you feel the way you do, and tell me why you felt the need to come public.
Well, the president until yesterday had insisted that he was not going to grant a pardon to his son, and he indicated that he had supported the judicial process that led us here. As you know, Hunter Biden was convicted by a jury of his peers of significant felonies. In addition, in the tax case, he had pled guilty to those felonies. There's no indication that the special counsel who charged Hunter Biden was in any way swayed by politics or acted in a political manner. In fact, those are the arguments that Donald Trump has generally made about the Department of Justice as they act upon political considerations. I think it is critically important that we try to build up American confidence in our judicial system and the Department of Justice at a time that it's coming under attack. And this decision by the president to pardon his son, I think, and to do it in a way where he suggests it was a political prosecution, I think undermines the Department of Justice and hurts this important institution and the rule of law.
Members of Congress often talk amongst themselves, and in Washington, you know this, Congressman, we hear whispers of what people are saying behind the scenes. Do you know of any other Democrats who feel the way that you do, but yet haven't come forward?
Look, I'm a proud member of the Democratic caucus inside the Congress. It is not a shy group. So I think you're going to be hearing a lot of members speak their mind on this issue over the next few days. I'll get on an airplane and head back to Washington tomorrow because we start voting tomorrow night. So reporters will have a chance to directly interact with members. And this is not a shy group. They will speak their mind about how they feel about this important issue. I just think it's important that the American people have confidence in the system of justice, that they don't feel like there is a two-tiered system of justice. And President Biden for so long had built up the Department of Justice against the attacks from Trump and his close supporters. And I think, unfortunately, what happened yesterday sent us in the wrong direction.
I hear you in confidence on the Department of Justice, but I want to get ask you that, or your take on confidence sort of in a different way. Here was the president earlier this year, and I'll get your reaction on the other side.
Will you accept the jury's outcome, their verdict, no matter what it is?
Yes.
And have you ruled out a pardon for your son?
Yes.
You have.
Okay, so you talk about, Congressman, confidence in the DOJ. President Biden, though, is still the president of the United States for the next 49 days, still the commander-in-chief for the next 49 days. So when the American public sees that, hears that, know what they heard over the last 6 months, why should the American public over the next 49 days believe that when Joe Biden says something, he means it and he's telling the truth?
Well, I respect President Biden. I've worked with him and his administration and his team during his 4 years in office. And I just think he got this one wrong. The reason that he put out yesterday for his change of heart on this most important issue is that he suggested that the prosecution of his son was somehow based on politics. And that's where I get frustrated, because I think we need to build up the public's confidence in the judicial system. And I think that takes us in the wrong direction.
I should note also, you're an attorney by trade, hence I believe your focus here on the DOJ. I asked you in there, and I don't know if you heard me, but do you think the president lied when he said what he did?
Look, I respect President Biden, and he has been an honorable person throughout his time in public life. I don't know why he changed his mind on this most important issue. Obviously, I read the statement, and his statement was based upon the fact that he believes that this was a political process that led to this conviction of his son. I strongly disagree with that. I feel like in my position, I need to speak out on that, because this is the exact same argument that Donald Trump is going to make about his own prosecution. I do not think that Donald Trump was a victim of a political prosecution. These were serious felonies that he were charged with, and a jury of his peers convicted him. And it's the exact same situation with Hunter Biden, and we need to build up confidence in the system, not suggest that politics are at play. The Department of Justice is an incredibly important institution in America, and they deserve, those professional prosecutors, the staff there, they deserve the support of leaders in this country. And there's no indication that the special prosecutor in this case acted in a political way.
Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.